Hbar holders, welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel. You guys are looking at the title. You guys are looking at the markets. Exactly what we've been discussing over the last few days has really become like a reality. But yeah, let's really take a look at what's happening and what we could be expecting as far as price targets are concerned. For Hbar. So looking across the board, double-digit drop as we are going into Monday morning. You're seeing so many coins down about like 15 to 20%, depending on what coin you're looking at. Hbar down to 19% over the course of the last 24 hours in USD. Comparative also down 10% in Bitcoin. Comparative now, if you're looking at the price, 13 cents. It's actually below 13 cents to be exact, 12.9 to be exact, and the valuation at 5.45 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about $347 million. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. So of course, as we are starting to see pre-markets number coming out, and you're seeing other markets opening up around the globe, you are starting to see this panic really expanding. We saw China market seeing one of the worst days in literally, I think, over 16 years, or give or take. So of course, that speaks for itself, and there's a lot of other things happening. I think it was, the Japanese stock market also saw a downside. European stock market also saw a downside. So you can really see where this uncertainty phase really is. And even though you are already seeing so much bloodbath across the board, people might think we're going to see some sort of a relief rally, which we actually might, but in the grand scheme of things, I still think, we are nowhere out of the woods just yet. But moving forward, you can see Bitcoin, I want you guys to pay very, very close attention to BTC. Of course, I mentioned in my last Hbar update that, of course, if Bitcoin is not able to break above 80K and, close the daily candle, we could go below. And that's exactly what happened. We haven't actually retested the 73K range just yet, but I do believe that is the next target to be looking out for. We actually retested the 61.8 fib zone for Bitcoin just briefly at 74.6. It lasted just a few seconds. We have seen a little bit of a bounce since then, for Bitcoin, but again, in a grand scheme of things, this is to be expected, as this is a major support. But I do personally believe that we're nowhere near as to where you really want to see Bitcoin at, and I still do believe we retest the 73.5. Might see a bounce, of course, due to the fact that this is such an important key resistance. Used to be obviously a resistance, but now going to play as a support. If that does not hold, I think we could start retesting 72K, or potentially even falling below $70,000 Bitcoin. But with that said, if you're looking at Hbar, it has done exactly what we've been discussing. Of course, we have seen a little bit of a bounce since then. We have seen the price still hovering in the 78.6 Fibonacci retracement level. I'm showing you guys a weekly time frame so you understand where we currently are, and you can see this for yourself. I spoke to you guys about losing the support line at 15.7 cents. What is the next target to be looking out for? And that exact same target, that support we spoke about, is really coming in as a major level of support. Even though we did see a major drop for altcoins right now, you have not seen the price of Hbar still retesting the 78.6 support line around 12.2 cents, because of the fact that there is significant amount of support around this 12.6 cents price point. So obviously we have seen, if you want to put this into perspective, from losing the support line, let's say this was your stop loss, you did see the price drop in 20% additional from that price on. And now the question is, the question that a lot of people are asking: are we about to see the price going back to where it was prior to Donald Trump being elected? We could potentially see that happening, but I've stated to you guys before that would require a significant pullback more for Bitcoin. But with the way dominance is showing strength, with the way Bitcoin is looking, you never know what can happen, and how this whole financial against financial crisis, if you want to put it, how is that really going to go? What's really going to happen with the tariffs? How is that really going to play out? We'll see what happens. But as of now, nothing else has changed in terms of the U.S. Adopting cryptocurrencies, the innovation that's happening. None of that has changed. So, we need to get that clear. If you're in for the long haul, I'm sure, a lot of people are looking at this opportunity as, one of the greatest opportunities out there, which I personally think it is, in terms of altcoin accumulation for the long haul. And I think, this is one of the best opportunities, which I think, is not done. I think this could take the market more towards the downside, because, Bitcoin is still not, where we could say, you know what, Bitcoin is looking good. And again, no one can really time, the bottom. So of course, if you lose this support line, if things can get more, bearish for BTC, especially if the traditional market is not looking good. So I'm going to keep you guys covered. Of course, right now we do have significant amount of support around the 78.6. If this support does drop, we could make our way down to 11.2 cents in my personal opinion. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how long this lasts. Let me know down below what you guys think. What are you guys doing right now? We'll keep you guys updated. We'll see you later from Crypto ZX, and peace out.